So, you're thinking about visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach, huh? Well, there's a couple of things you may need to know. So, having never been to a big UK theme park as vast as the Pleasure Beach, I was quite nervous and anxious. Totally did not know what to expect on the day. Due to my anxiety taking over and just sort of overthinking what the whole vibe was going to be like inside the park, how busy it was going to be, and how well I would cope with being stood right next to or right underneath some of the biggest roller coasters in the park. Having got into there, my nerves and anxiety just literally floated away. I think it was because I was around people who kind of made the day a little bit better for me. Just seeing how sort of busy it was. I'm okay in sort of large crowds, but I don't spend too long in them. But honestly, people gave you enough space to move around and enough personal space too. I wasn't waiting long for rides either, which I will get onto in a minute. The ride wait times weren't majorly long or anything like that. But I literally, like I said, as soon as I got into the park, my anxiety and my nerves just completely went away. So it was like they just never existed up until that point. You know, when I actually did actually get into the park itself. So, pricing. So, for general entry, I paid the fair price of £35 booked online. Wait times. So, given how busy it was on the day, I actually went to the Pleasure Beach, which was a Saturday. As you can imagine, it was quite busy for a Saturday. Lots of families, lots of kids, and lots of groups of friends and stuff around and stuff like that as well. Once I saw the Wallace and Gromit ride and the queue for that, I thought, well, it kind of looks like I'm going to have to be waiting a while to actually get into a ride today. But as soon as I got onto the waiting lines for the rides, it turned out not to be that long at all. The maximum amount of time I was waiting for the Wallace and Gromit ride, we'll just use that one as an example, was around about 10 or so minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, which is not super long. Everyone in the queue, they were obviously getting people onto rides and off rides as quickly as possible too. Same with a couple of the other rides that I actually went on, which was here was me going on going through the Alice's Wonderland ride, which was my very first ride. It was quite sort of jerky at times, possibly like going around the sharp corners too. But yeah, honestly, I thought I was going to be waiting for ages to actually get into a ride, and I was actually preparing myself and sort of bracing myself for the fact that I will be waiting a while. But obviously, the staff members were just wanting to get people onto rides and off rides as soon as they possibly can. But yeah, the maximum amount of time was like 10 to 15 minutes. But just bear in mind, if you do go, that you will have to wait, unfortunately. But again, it might not be long. I was quite lucky because the queue line like went quite fast for me, so I had that going for me. But yeah, just bear in mind that whatever day you go, especially like on a weekend as well, it will be busy, and you will expect quite a few minutes to actually wait on the rides, but not that long. What about card and cash payments? Okay, so it actually turns out that the entire park only accepts card payments. I actually found out this when I tried to go for a hot drink at one of the sort of food vendors, one of the numerous food and drink little like stall things, I think you'd call them, scattered around the park. There was also there is a on-site Burger King too, but I think that only accepts card payments as well. But yeah, it is card payments only throughout the park, so just bear that in mind if you do. Only pay for cash sometimes, like myself, because I do like to have physical cash on me. I should have kept some money on my card, but I'll know that for next time. But yeah, card payment all around the park. I think it is for the gift shop as well. Yeah, definitely for the gift shop. But yeah, just bear it in mind. It is all card payment throughout the park. Favorite rides? So this was actually my second ride, I think, that I went on. So it was the Alice's Wonderland first, and then it was Wallace and Gromit. I already knew this was in the park, so I had to basically go and find it. It wasn't really hard to find either. The park does have a map as well, just in case you ever get lost and you need to find your way. But yeah, this ride surprised me actually, because there was two drops in this ride that I wasn't expecting. There's also it's kind of hard to describe. It's like air jets sort of blasting a load of air in your face, which made me hyperventilate as I was going down just a little bit. But I think the drop was just about just after the rocket here, or just after the scene. I basically grew up watching the Wallace and Gromit films, so I love them. Who else watched the Wallace and Gromit Christmas special? Let me know in the comments below. That one was a good one. Oh, they are by the way, they are actually adding that one of the scenes from the Wallace and Gromit Christmas special. I'm not sure when they're going to be adding that scene in. What's it called now? The Penguin. I'll have to thingy. I know they're adding the Norbots in, I think, as well. You know, the little robots. The little robot gnomes, the little Norbot scenes. There's that one going in. I read somewhere. But yeah, just to reiterate, just to let you know, there is two drops in this ride. The first one is when you go through a pitch black. I think that was it just then. No, I think the first one was when you actually go through a pitch black space, or space in the ride, and then literally once you hit the darkness, and it's just totally unexpected, and you can actually feel the ride drop quite a few feet as well, whilst there's sound effects and there is a load of air being blown into your face too, which was kind of a bit scary for me. It was a bit chilly that day as well, so you can definitely feel the cold air in rides too. I think that's kind of natural though, just to keep everything sort of regulated temperature wise. And then the second drop it didn't feel as dramatic as the first one. I've literally never been in this park before. This was my very, very first time going into a big sort of theme park like this. I have been into Camelot theme park before, the theme park at Chorley. That was back when I was a kid. That was quite a few years ago that. But ever since, well, since I was like sort of growing up and I was watching the big one drop in whenever I went into Blackpool as a small child, I used to be scared of it, especially like of the Sky Flyer, which I will show you in the video. The Sky Flyer at the entrance to the park as well. I was sort of hesitant about going in, mainly due to my anxiety and just overall scared, just how scared I was of seeing, being around the big rides and stuff. But now, fully grown adult, 27 years old, I actually did pretty well, and on this water and grommet ride as well, with that unexpected drop, I did pretty well. If you are wondering if I did go on it twice or I did go on it again, yes I did, but I obviously didn't film it. This was one of my favourite rides. There's one of the no-bots as well that I was just talking about, and there's the rabbit. I won't call it the were-rabbit because it's not. But yeah, I did go on this ride twice, simply because it was one of my favourite ones in the park. Number 2, Alice's Wonderland. Okay, so this was in fact one of my very first rides of the afternoon. Again, I wasn't really waiting long for this ride, even though the queue was fairly long, but it got moving pretty fast, and this was one of the rides that they were actually getting people on and off quite fast with, so I was quite surprised at how fast I was able to get onto this ride. I thought it was going to be like waiting a long while, because like I said, when I saw the queue for the water and grommet ride, I was sort of preparing myself just in case I had to wait a while. But yeah, Alice's Wonderland. I actually watched a video. It was from Theme Park Worldwide. I'm not sure if any of you folks watch Theme Park Worldwide videos, but I actually got suggested by one of my friends who actually works at the Pleasure Beach. She was saying to watch their videos, and the night before I actually watched one of their I watched their new Pleasure Beach vlog just to prepare myself for the day ahead, because as I said, I've literally never been in. This is my very first time at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and honestly I did myself quite proud just by going in, because I thought it was going to be, I was going to be a nervous and anxious wreck all day, but yeah, like I said at the start of the video, once in, my nerves were just completely just wiped away, and it was like they'd never even existed. But yeah, this was a nice smooth ride. There was a couple of sharp turns in it. There's Humpty Dumpty as well. There was a couple of sharp turns in this ride, but nothing too sort of major. It was quite sort of jerky as well, and I'm sure you can see with the camera and stuff there. It was quite jerky. I can just sit here and experience it right now as I'm just doing the voiceover for this. But I enjoyed this. I would have liked to have gone on it again, but honestly, I just completely forgot about going on it again because I was just so fascinated with the water and grommet ride, and obviously the Sky Flyer, which I'll show you in a minute, because that's one of my other favourite rides. But yeah, Alice's Wonderland, it's quite jerky, but other than that, I did actually slam through the doors then, and it nearly fell out. But yeah, an all-round great ride. Number 3, Sky Flyer. Okay, so this was my very last ride that I actually went on that afternoon, and honestly, I probably picked the best one to go on last. I was going to go on this one first as soon as I got into the park, but as the afternoon went on, it did get quite a bit chilly, and honestly, up on this, you don't realise how high you are up until you actually get onto the ride itself. And let me tell you, it was cold and it was so windy. Yeah, I was struggling to breathe, to be honest with you, on this ride because of, like I said, you don't realise how high you are up until you actually get onto it and it actually starts going around. When you sort of sat stationary waiting for the ride to start, You do actually feel the sort of, I'm not sure if it's the hydraulics on it, but the actual mechanism lifts up just a couple of inches from the platform where you got onto the ride before it actually starts, and then that tells you then that the ride is just about to start. But I remember just sort of really struggling for my breath up here. I can just sort of feel it now as I'm like sat here. Like I said, it was so cold and windy. I should have put a thicker jumper on underneath my hoodie, to be honest. But yeah, I was kind of hyperventilating. I think at one point I actually put my mouth inside my hoodie because I was struggling that much. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and there was a few people like on one of the rockets behind me too. So I think it's called the Sky Flyer. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, one of the perfect rides to go in is to go on last. Sorry, nice and calm, and a bit of a nice way to end my afternoon at the Pleasure Beach Resort in Blackpool. Honestly, not a single thing. Everything that I had planned for that day worked out exactly how I planned it and how I visioned it in my head. By the way, this is the wall of names at the Pleasure Beach. I actually walked past this, and I didn't even know all these plaques were on here, but I did actually stand just whilst I wasn't filming on my way back down to see what names I could find on the wall. It's basically names of all the visitors that have visited the park, which I thought was a nice touch, to be honest. But yeah, nothing I would change. The ride wait times were not as bad as I thought they would be. There was obviously a few rides that had closed, like a few of the smaller ones, like Grand Prix, the Eddie Stowbot trucks as well, and the little kiddie ride. But the only thing that I didn't really go on was the Pleasure Beach Express, which I will be going on to next time. And here's me sort of pointing out the park map as well. Really easy to sort of like navigate as well, which is this was kind of handy. I was actually thinking about getting a physical copy before I actually went into the park, but then I saw this and I thought, oh, that's really handy to have that. But yeah, I would change absolutely nothing. For a first time theme park visitor, it all went quite well. Ride recommendations. Okay, so if you are a bit of a crazy thrill seeker, then I would highly recommend Icon. I think Icon has only been in the park for two or so years now, because I actually remember it being announced, but I wasn't sure like how long it had actually been in the park. I think it's been there for 2 years, and then obviously not forgetting the big one in the background there. That is what people go to Pleasure Beach for, isn't it? To ride the big scary roller coasters, to ride the big one. Obviously, I don't think you've lived until you've been on the big one, and I think that's what my mum always used to say, because she actually went on it with my brother once. But yeah, number one is Icon. Number 2 on my ride recommendations is Alice's Wonderland. This was a nice, gentle, calming ride, this one. And it does actually tell a bit of like a story inside as well, with Humpty Dumpty, and I think it's like perfect for families and like kids as well, if you sort of want to get your kids sort of like, learning and sort of educated too. But yeah, just be aware of, it is quite jolty, and it is quite, there is a couple like sharp turns in this, but yeah, all in all, a nice, perfect, calm, family-friendly ride. Number 3 on my ride recommendations is Wallace and Gromit's Thrill-O-Matic. Okay, so yeah, another great family-friendly one, this one. But just be aware, like I said, there is a couple of unexpected drops, which you don't really, you're not really made aware of in the ride, to be honest, because it just comes at you, and like I said, it's just totally unexpected. It's Wallace and Gromit, isn't it? Who doesn't like Wallace and Gromit? But yeah, it's that's why I went on it twice, because I really enjoyed it, and the actual ride like inside the ride sort of carts as well. They're like giant slippers that Wallace wears. So it's basically all themed around him. And then obviously on the walls as well, if we've got the photos, I'll pop them on screen for you now so you can see. They're all sort of like themed around like Blackpool and sort of like Seaside too, and Wallace and Gromit is sort of like depicted of going to like the beach at Blackpool, and sort of like the seaside-y sort of seaside like vibe to them as well. If you're wondering if there's any like water effects or anything on this ride, no, there isn't, not a single thing. Although like the rooms and stuff do feel quite chilly. I think that was because I did go on a bit of a chilly day, but the sun was out, so it kind of balanced it just a little bit. So, but yeah, nice family friendly ride this one, and I think it's definitely one that you will be wanting to go on again, a bit like I did. But yeah, the Wallace and Gromit Thrill-O-Matic is the perfect one for any sort of like slow riders, and if you want to get away from like the hustle and bustle of the park and stuff, which I will get onto in a minute. There is another section of the park which I've not yet mentioned, but yeah, nice, easy, family friendly, calming ride despite the unexpected drops. Wait, Peter, you're forgetting something. I don't think I have. What have I forgotten? There's one more section of the park that you forgot to mention. Oh yeah, of course. Thank you. No worries. Okay folks, so I've just come into Nickelodeon Land. It is super busy around here. So they've got the Krusty Krab there as well, and the log flume ride as well. I nearly forgot this section of the park. What am I like? Yeah, Nickelodeon Land. This was actually one of the sections of the park that I did actually want to go and visit. Having grown up watching Nickelodeon Land since I was a little lad, it seemed fitting to go into this little bit of a section, just see what it was all about, and then obviously you have at the sort of like start of it there. Is the Krusty Krab, and then obviously you've got the Krusty sort of perched outside too. There was that roller coaster, I think I've forgotten what it's called now. I think it actually runs around the park, I'm not too sure. I was actually thinking about going on that. That log flume ride looked quite fun, but I just didn't want to be getting wet like that day. But yeah, look at that pure blue sky though against the Krusty Krab sign. Order up. That's what SpongeBob says every time they bring out the Krusty Krabs. But yeah, we got quite a few like kids rides. This was like a bit of another sort of like water feature type ride as well. There was actually a gift shop as well. I actually did go inside because I wanted to get a bit of a souvenir, but I wasn't sure what to get. I didn't, if I'm being honest with you folks, I didn't really want to be walking out with like a plushie teddy or anything like that, because I didn't want people to think that I was like weird or anything like that. But you've got to be a kid, haven't you? 27 years of age, and yeah, sometimes you've got to let out that inner child. But that roller coaster, I think, I'm not sure if it was. It is a wooden roller coaster, but I wasn't sure if it went around the park. But I just didn't want to be going on any like big sort of roller coasters or anything like that. I just wanted to take the day to be like, I just wanted it to be easy, a bit of an easy day. There's Dora's World Voyage. Dora the Explorer was one of my sister's favourite sort of TV shows growing up too. I think that ride was open, I'm not too sure, but yeah, Nickelodeon Land, as you can see, it was quite busy and very popular with families and children. And that brings us to an end on this video. I hope you have sort of gained some insight and insight and information. I nearly said inspiration then. I mean, yeah, you could gain inspiration from this video for your next plan, for your next trip to the Pleasure Beach Blackpool. But yeah, I hope you've sort of gained some information on, you know, prices and the ride wait times, and sort of what the overall vibe is like. The staff here are quite friendly, even though I was kind of warned that they sometimes aren't. But I didn't have a bad experience with them. But yeah, but yeah, I really did enjoy my afternoon there. You know, just going on a couple of rides and just being around people and just being around the whole atmosphere as well. And it was kind of decent weather too. So if you like this video, give it a like for me. Let me know if you are going to the Pleasure Beach this year in the comments below. And for any other information, please visit www.pleasurebeachresortblackpool.co.uk for ticket prices and everything else. And I will see you all in my next video. Take care, and thank you very much for watching.